I'm Theo.
And I'm Juliet.
And this is Apologies Accepted.
We offer an entertaining look at some of the big issues in history by examining public apologies of the famous and infamous.
We're looking at politicians, serial killers, actors, and you.
Send us a public apology you would like to make, and we'll read it on the air and give you a chance to redeem yourself or just get some guilt off your shoulders.
We're here for you. Once a week, maybe more if you're really, really sorry. Hi, everybody.
This is Apologies Accepted,
The podcast.
And I'm not Theo.
And I'm not Juliet. And it's amazing that I remembered that I'm not you because it's been a while since we recorded.
It has. How long has it been? I thought it was just a week, but has it been longer than that?
I think it's been like 2 weeks. What is time?
Has it really? What is time?
What is
Doesn't
time?
matter.
What is a calendar?
It's all relative. So, yes, were you going to say something?
No, I was laughing because I got your joke, Einstein.
So the important question of the day and the week and the 2 weeks is what's shaking, bacon?
There is so much bacon on the bacon tree to shake off. Let's see. So I'm out in the desert. It is summer. I'm having probably the best summer of my life.
Wow.
It's really, I know that is a really high bar for life too.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been great. We've had a small parade of friends and family come through.
Yeah.
The house is turned a corner. I mean, oh my God, I don't even want to say anything because I don't want to jinx it. But
yeah,
everything is fine.
Yay.
That's been great. Actually, It's been weird to not have structural things break, but instead be like, oh, we could paint a wall. I can actually take my energies and put it towards, let's look at cosmetic things we could do. So that's been lovely. We've met the neighbors. They are all wonderful, fine people. I actually am very surprised to, it sounds awful, to like this many neighbors, because usually I don't. But yeah, no, they're all really normal and mellow and friendly, but not too chatty, not too invasive, right?
Are most of them, would you say most of them have their second homes there, or are they full-time residents?
It is mostly full-time residents. However, there's one neighbor where this is their second home and they're not here all the time, right?
Okay.
And so, and like us, they're going to slowly transition to living out here full-time.
Nice.
Yeah, and so that's been great. So the neighborhood is living up to the expectation that we had, which was
good.
It's going to be nice. And it has been being nice. Sure, that's English. So that's been nice. Wow. And I've always feel like there's so many hundreds of little stupid moments during a week where I'm like, I've got to tell Juliet that on the podcast. I've got to share this precious moment with Juliet on the podcast. Can't remember a single fucking one. Yeah. So that's been it. That's really been it. James left this morning. He had to get up at 4 a.m. So I also had to get up at 4 a.m. because I'm his ride to the airport, which is 5 minutes away by car, but that's fine. And so I'm really tired, but I had 16 ounces of Red Bull, so I'm tired and wired. So
the worst combination.
It's going to be a fucking train wreck here. Yeah, and let's see. And then so he'll be gone for most of August, but I've got a friend arriving today, and he'll be here for 2 weeks. And then I have a friend coming in on Tuesday, and then I have another friend, and I've got so many friends. And then I have a friend coming in on Tuesday. So it'll be a really nice, mellow week of hanging out, making dinners together, making long, involved, complicated dinners together, because that's what Kristen and I like to do, aside from get drunk and bitch about people that we hate.
Sounds perfect.
It's amazing. Can't wait. So I'm super excited for all that. And that is what's shaking bacon here. It's just been a lovely summer, and it continues to be. Okay, top that. What's shaking bacon?
I can't top that. I'm fixing up my house in Arizona, or my mother's house, I should say, I suppose. Long story there. But I'm putting in new windows and I'm repainting the interior entirely. And I'm putting in new carpet in the 3 bedrooms. So that makes it sound like a big house, but it's really not. It's tiny. It's like 900 square feet. But yeah, so I'm getting all that done, and it's been a 4-year long ordeal, so to speak, to get to this point, which is the paint is almost done and the windows have arrived to be installed, and we're picking carpet. So it's, I guess the contract, I know the contractor that I have selected is the only one in this tiny town. So she gets
Good
to
thing you
pick what she wants
selected
to
her
do.
then.
Yeah, it was a hard choice. So she gets to pick what jobs she wants to do and when she wants to do them. And she did do my kitchen really quickly when I had a big flood in the kitchen, and she did a great job on the kitchen. This was like 4 years ago. And then I told her at that time that I wanted to redo this other stuff that I've just talked about. And she's like, sure, great, we'll do it. And it took her 4 years to get around to it. So I'm just relieved that it's getting done now, and I'm really excited about getting it done, but I'm not sure. I'm hoping to go out there in September, but I don't know if she'll be done by September. And it's like, it's a month. You should be able to install some windows and put some carpet down in a month period. But, she takes her time. So, but she does a good job. I got to say, she does a good job. So
Your
I'm
kitchen
not
came out
unhappy.
fantastically.
It came out really nice, and the work was well done, and it looks really good. And I let her, make some design decisions, and she did a really good job. And I'm just really happy with it. So if only it didn't take so long to get this other work done, I would be super happy. So the next step after this is done is to redo the roof, which I think they're going to do in the fall, and then to paint the outside because it's a hideous color right now. The trim, a worker that we had taking care of I call it landscaping, but it's just the yard, painted. I painted an accent wall inside, like this deep red color, and he thought that I liked it, and so he painted the trim on the house the same deep red color, and I hate it. I hate it. So it's been that way now for 10 years, I think, and finally we're gonna fix it up. So thank God, that'll be great. So that's my bacon, except for the fact that I'm going to be visiting you at the end of the month.
Yay!
Hopefully, if it still works for you. I'm
It
looking
doesn't.
forward to it. Okay, well then I won't be visiting you.
That is going to be no pressure,
Yeah.
right? They're going to be the perfect end cap to the perfect summer. I can't imagine spending it with anybody else, right?
Aw.
It's true. Like, I don't have to explain things to you.
No, totally.
God, this sounds, all my other friends are like, what?
What do you mean? I don't get
You have to explain things to me?
No one listens to this podcast, though.
None of my friends do, for sure.
Yeah, mine either.
Oh,
the one other friend I have.
On that note, congratulations on 12,000 downloads.
What?
We've had 12,000 downloads
Really?
in the last 5 years. And so
That's amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah. So
5 years. We've been doing this for 5 years.
I'm going to guess. Yeah. Like,
I guess we started during the pandemic. So
2020.
I mean, that's why we started it, because we were
at home.
We were at home. We needed something to occupy ourselves with.
Fuck all to do. I remember
and you had a great idea.
January 6th of whenever the insurrection was, right? When that was going on, you sent me a text and you were like, we have to get on the air right now. We just covered it. There's apologies to be had. Let's do it. Did they come out on the 6th or the 7th? Whatever it was, right? Our insurrection episode. Yeah. Yeah, that whole pandemic thing, man, which ties into our story. So here's a bridge. Some people call it a segue, but it did kind of, I mean, I don't think this is controversial to say, fuck with the culture / people a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And now I see things like, I don't know, a video from back during the pandemic where everybody's wearing a mask and out and standing in line at Trader Joe's to get inside because you could only allow 20 people in at a time. And how quickly that all became very normal, but also how weird and alien it was. And even this past weekend, our neighbors up the road had a little open house and invited the neighborhood in one, you wouldn't have done that during the pandemic. And
No.
two, there was still a little bit of social awkwardness where people
Really?
didn't seem I mean, I certainly felt like, gosh, there are a lot of people in here.
Yeah.
And there were not. I mean, there were a good number of people. There weren't a lot of people, right?
Right.
And so there does kind of seem to be, we're not getting right back to normal quickly. I think people are still very emotionally charged. I'm not expert
Yeah.
enough to explain why I think that, but people are angrier now
Yeah.
and quicker to
Yeah.
snap. And you see it online, and that leads us to our story.
Yes, it does, in fact. So let's talk about our story. Thank you for the segue.
You're welcome. Or
San
bridge.
Francisco chef, or bridge. San Francisco chef Luke Sung was co-owner of Kis Cafe, which is in Hayes Valley, which is not too far from where I live. I don't know the restaurant. I haven't been there. I hadn't even heard of it before this. So, but apparently the chef was famous in the 2000s or the early 2000s and for his other restaurant that he started back then. And he worked there for a while and then moved to Taiwan for 20 years. So he's been in Taiwan before coming back to start Kis Cafe with his partner. But it's called Kis Cafe as an acronym for Keep It Simple. And the cafe made headlines recently when an influencer known as, I think it's Carla Beebe, posted a TikTok detailing a promotional collaboration gone wrong. At the time, she had around 15,000 followers, which really isn't very many. And Sung allegedly judged her as not enough and implied that her audience couldn't afford his restaurant. He reportedly bragged about his own credentials and bragged that his daughter had 600,000 followers. And the influencer left in tears and uploaded a video to TikTok on July 23rd saying that she had arrived early for a collaboration, which typically involves an agreement between a restaurant and an influencer who gets free food in exchange for a post, probably a positive post, hopefully. She was sitting at the bar waiting for her husband when she overheard the host and another employee discuss who she was and how many online followers she had. He was saying, "I had too little followers and the collaboration was a mistake," she says of the host. She then greeted the chef, who allegedly played some of her TikTok videos at full volume before telling her he didn't think her work was up to his standards. She said, "He goes on to say that my audience and my followers are not the kind of people that are going to be at his restaurant," which was an insinuation that her fans couldn't afford to eat there. I mean, Hayes Valley is a nice neighborhood, but it's not that nice. It's not like this was, I don't know, the marina or something.
Ooh, slam.
Not really. I mean, I like Hayes Valley. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods, but the restaurants there are varied. Like they're all reasonably upscale, but they're not super, super, super nice. So no excuse for the chef to say what he did, which is, "Do you know who I am?" Which is never a good question to ask. And he mentioned that he had been a James Beard nominee back in the 2000s, early 2000s. He said his daughter had 600,000 followers, and he said that the influencer was not at that level. So her video went viral. She got 20 million views, more than 20 million views at this point, I'm sure. And the public was outraged and slammed the Kis Cafe and Sung's other ventures reviews. So they're all bad now. And he led him to step down as chef of the cafe. And the cafe's other co-owner issued a public statement. And that public statement was as follows: "Our chef's behavior was unacceptable, and he is no longer part of the team as a co-owner, a chef, or in any other way. As of this post, he has reached out to the creator with a personal apology. That behavior does not reflect the remainder of our team. We want to create a space that's welcoming and respectful to everyone. In this instance, we failed to do so. We are closing soon and restructuring after these events. In the meantime, we hope to still be able to sustain the livelihoods of our team members and their families. Lastly, we understand the frustration and anger, but please do not use this lapse in our values as an opportunity to foment racism and hate speech toward us and our loved ones. Sincerely, the KISS team." So that was around the 24th, I think, of July, which was like a week ago or almost 2 weeks ago. And on July 28th, the chef Sung issued a public apology, calling his own behavior condescending, hurtful, and intimidating. And then he stepped down from the restaurant, and Kis Cafe then announced permanent closure, which was less than 2 months after they opened in July 2025. So the incident sparked a wider debate over the influence of micro-influencers, which they're calling that woman, and power dynamics in restaurant marketing. It also highlighted risks when hospitality venues underestimate creators with modest but engaged audiences or assume follower counts equal credibility. So his apology, let's talk about his apology, unless you have something you'd like to say.
No, actually, I think definitely let's move on to his apology. Notes
Okay.
and thoughts, but they're all post-apology analysis stuff.
Okay. All right, cool. So his apology said, Carla, I am truly sorry for my actions towards you. I was condescending, hurtful, and intimidating. You did not deserve to be made to feel less than or unimportant. Nobody does. Regardless, I thank you for teaching me a valuable lesson in kindness and respect. There are no excuses to be made, and I've decided it's time for me to step away from Kis Cafe permanently and in all capacities. I truly care about my staff and am devastated that my actions have impacted both them and their families. They are incredible people who don't deserve to suffer due to my behavior. And referring to his daughter, he said, I am sorry I put you in this position. I failed you in the worst way. The responsibility of this whole situation is mine alone, and my behavior should not be a reflection on anyone else who works there or anyone who is related to me. To Carla, my kids, and everyone else in the hospitality industry, I hope you will accept my apology and thank you for taking the time to listen to me. So that's the apology. It's not a bad apology. We can examine it using the famous criteria.
Our famous and trademarked.
Yes,
Don't steal this from us, everybody.
I was going to use our last names to name it, but I'm not going to do that. The Theo Juliet criteria for apologies. Was there an expression of regret? Well, he said, I am truly sorry for my actions towards you, and I was condescending, hurtful, and intimidating. So I think the regret is there. The expression of regret is there. He named the behavior and showed emotional awareness. Was there an explanation of what went wrong? Well, no. He described his behavior, but doesn't explain the why or the how behind the incident. There's no context about what led to his reaction. No mention of misunderstanding the role of influencers, misjudging a business decision, or letting ego or stress take over. This is where the apology falls short. Without even a brief rationale, it's harder for audiences to understand the misstep beyond the outcome. So no explanation of what went wrong. There was an acknowledgement of responsibility. He actually said, the responsibility of this whole situation is mine alone. And he also said, my behavior should not be a reflection on anyone else who works there or anyone who is related to me. So he fully owns this, does not do any finger pointing. He isolates his behavior from others and makes it clear he's not blaming the influencer, his team, or any external factors, which is refreshing. A declaration of repentance. He said, I've decided it's time for me to step away from Kis Cafe permanently and in all capacities. So that's a strong statement of repentance, I think. Stepping down entirely shows that he's taking the consequences seriously, even whether or not it was forced by public pressure. Was there an offer of repair? No, this is a key omission. He makes no offer to make amends to the influencer staff or customers, doesn't talk about how he plans to prevent this kind of behavior in the future or mention any steps he's taking to learn or grow. So when reputational and professional harm has occurred to others, he should have made some sort of offer of repair, in my opinion. And lastly, was there a request for forgiveness? He says, I hope you will accept my apology and thank you for taking the time to listen to me, including both Carla and his family in this request, which makes it a bit broader and more personal. So it is a decent apology, especially in its tone and ownership, but it's incomplete. And whether it's sincere is really hard to judge. The missing explanation and offer of repair leave it feeling somewhat performative or reactive to public pressure rather than a fully introspective and constructive moment. So it might satisfy some people, members of the public, but it probably didn't win back those who were most affected by it, in my opinion. What do you think, Mr. Theo?
I'm just going to say, damn, that was some analysis there. Wow. I am really impressed. Oh, everything you said, plus. Yeah, I thought it was a good apology, not a great apology, slightly better than average, which is a far cry from the apology that Kis Cafe itself issued, right?
Right.
Which we're not evaluating, but I do like it, though. I mean, I think it's funny. And were you going to cover this one as well? Am I like jumping ahead or stepping on your toes?
Go ahead.
Cool.
Go ahead.
So from the Kis Cafe team, our chef's behavior was unacceptable and he is no longer part of the team as a co-owner, a chef, or in any other way. As of this post, he, Luke, has reached out to the creator with a personal apology. That behavior does not reflect the remainder of our team. We want to create a space that's welcoming and respectful to everyone. In this instance, we failed to do so. So far, it's tracking. That's kind of nice. We are closing soon and restructuring after these events. In the meantime, we hope to still be able to sustain the livelihoods of our team members and their families. Okay, we're going to close, but we're going to keep paying our staff. Lastly, we understand the frustration and anger, but please do not use this lapse in our values as an opportunity to foment racism and hate speech towards us and our loved ones. What? Where are we getting racism and hate speech? I get, right? But
I think some of the comments were about how they were Asian and
duh, that did not
Yeah.
even cross my radar.
Yeah.
So looking at what happened, right? And looking at how the hospitality industry operates, and this is something that I could speak to with a certain amount of expertise because I did this for like 15 years, maybe longer. Journalists frequently visit hotels, restaurants, amusement parks. Travel writers, travel journalists are everywhere, and they write for, most of them are freelance these days, but they will be published in AAA magazine or Southwest magazine or name some other magazine, right? Condé Nast.
Right.
And so this concept should not have been a mystery to Luke, the chef, right? This is something he's encountered before. The fact that the air quotes around journalists, but micro influencers performing the same task as a journalist, and that's going in, having an experience, publishing your opinion on that experience, and walking away, right? Because that's it, you're done. Very common to be comped for those services, right? There's an expectation that your hotel room will, it's not even an expectation. Your hotel room will be free and you'll be wined and dined. The more important you are, the better your experience is, absolutely, right? But the issue here is there was a lack of communication with the restaurant staff. Apparently, they had not solidified, what word am I looking for? Metrics around who do we comp? Who's a journalist? How big is the following need to be, right? Bigger than my daughter's, apparently, would be Luke's answer of 600,000 people. So regardless of the failure of internal communication, hey, we've got this journalist coming in, and what do you think, right? Once a journalist, and I get she's a micro influencer, but I'm just going to use journalist because it's easier to say, and the trend still holds. Once a journalist is there, you are fucking committed. It is too bad that you didn't have a discussion or you didn't have parameters in place before extending an invitation, but you got what you deserve. And I hate to say that because I don't think anybody deserves bad things to happen to them. Of course they do. I feel bad for the staff that lost their jobs. I feel bad for the owners who lost this opportunity to have their restaurant be successful, which maybe it would have. You know, it's all terribly unfortunate, but it was a gross misstep to smack this journalist across the face for not being important enough.
Right.
And I get that that's the whole reason all of this stemmed out.
I mean, anyone in the hospitality industry should know that you don't talk about people in front of them either or within earshot. So that's just crazy.
Yeah. And in the word alone, hospitality.
Right.
Like, do your fucking job. Bitch about her after she's gone, you know, smack your staff around. Never let anybody with only 15,000 followers in again. Fair enough, right? But yeah, so, but now we get to the rating. So that's kind of my thoughts around it. It really, he should have known better just based off of previous experience. Would he have thrown a journalist out? Maybe he doesn't understand what micro influencers are. Maybe he doesn't get TikTok. Maybe he does. I don't know, right? If she'd had a pen and paper instead of a video phone, hi, old man. Would that have made a difference to him? I think maybe, but I don't know that, right? I'm going to give it a 6, maybe even a 5.8, right?
Yeah.
Better than average. He gets that he did something wrong. It does feel like it may have been punched up by ChatGPT a little bit, but regardless of that, I do like that he's aware that his actions were not only inappropriate, but had real-world consequences on people that he cares about. And so, to his point, he has learned a lesson in kindness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would rate it the same. I would rate it a 6. out
Okay.
of 10. So we're at about 60% or 5.9%, depending on which of your ratings you go with.
Still
So
going to be
that's
just a
where
little
that
bit
is.
nicer than me.
And I would, would you accept this apology?
I would. And it does unfortunately have that little bit of, well, you're only apologizing because you got, so much shit.
Yeah.
Would you have
Yeah.
apologized if you didn't get all this shit? Would you have woken up 2 days later and been like, God, I was so rude to that poor girl? Maybe he would have, right?
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. So I think we can comfortably sit at 6 with this.
Okay.
He
I
gets
would
to
accept the
live.
apology. Yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah. All right. Good. So let's I think we've taken care of that apology then. So do you have a apology accepted or a who's sorry now this week?
Oh, don't I?
Oh good.
Yes, I do. I have an apology expected from the
Okay.
Smithsonian.
Oh good.
Yes. And how dare they?
How dare.
So, for those people who are unaware, because there are so many other news stories floating around right now that are more headline grabbing, this one did grab some headlines, though. The Smithsonian Institute had a exhibit on presidents and impeachment. And
Mhm.
there's, I can't remember the first guy. Is it Jackson? Oh, nobody
Oh
impeached
god, I don't
Jefferson, Theo.
remember.
Shut up. Um, could
I
it,
don't know.
somebody, some early old president from the 1800s, and I could look it
Yeah.
up, but I'm too lazy. And then, of course, Clinton, and then, of course, Donald Trump, right? Famously
Yeah.
with two. And the Smithsonian took down the Trump portion of the exhibit, right?
Yeah.
Now, and there was a little bit of some outrage online over that. And then the Smithsonian quickly came back and said, oh, no, we weren't taking it away permanently. We're just removing it for a couple of weeks because the font's different on the signage and we want everything to have a cohesive feel and vibe was part of
Uh-huh.
it, right?
Bullshit.
And I mean, and it wasn't literally the font, but it was something along the lines of the signage was just different. And the one exhibit had been up since 2008, and they really needed to refreshen it and all of that. So you took down the newest piece instead of the two oldest
Right.
pieces?
And you
Okay.
didn't just fix it and then put it up and replace it after you'd
Close
already
the whole
fixed
fucking
it,
thing
right?
down
Right.
and then fix it, right? I mean, there's lots of different ways to have handled this, but
Yeah.
it certainly reeks, in my opinion, of don't hit us, oh great dictator, and please don't take away our federal funds, and please, we love you, and we're going to rename our museum the Donald Trump Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah, which they're doing with the Kennedy Center or trying to, and God,
I heard
and they
about
don't have
that.
the legal authority to do that, but now we live
Good.
in this world where
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter to me, like I was ever in danger of performing at the Kennedy Center, but we will not be recording there live,
Okay.
ever,
All right. That's fair. At the
until
Melania
he's
Trump
off the
Center or
board.
whatever. Oh, man. Horrible.
Or until we become his biggest fans, A or B.
I
All right, what about you? Enough of my nonsense. Who's sorry now? Apology expected.
would call it an apology expected, but I don't really expect one. So it's an apology requested or an apology demanded, maybe we'll say. In July, it's now August, so I can say in July of this year, Florida Representative Randy Fine posted on X calling fellow Congresswoman Ilhan Omar a Muslim terrorist and stating the only shame is that you serve in Congress. This reply came after Omar criticized Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu as a war criminal during his visit to Washington. House Democratic leaders, including Hakeem Jeffries, Catherine Clark, and Pete Aguilar, issued a joint statement accusing Fine of being unhinged, racist, and Islamophobic and demanded he apologize immediately. Fine has refused to apologize, responding instead with dismissive posts like boo-hoo and further inflammatory rhetoric. I know these people are all 12. He also doubled down by labeling Democrats as the Hamas caucus. So I think he should apologize, but I suspect he will not. But hopefully people in Florida will not reelect him to office if there ever are any elections again.
We'll see, huh? We're going to find out. Or if there are elections, it really won't matter because it's only ever going to be Republicans who are voted. They're
It's only ever going to be Trump.
redoing
Trump forever.
Oh, God, he's 80. Like, it just can't be forever.
Hopefully not.
I mean, it can't be forever. It won't be forever.
Can't be the same one, no.
No, yeah, and yep, no, yep, no. I don't know, man. They're redoing the Texas congressional maps, as
I
you, I'm sure,
know.
have heard, and that will ensure that we will never have a Democrat elected in Texas again to a federal office. Probably is the way it'll go, because and and some of this is hinging upon a belief within the Republican Party that Latinos are the new Republicans,
I see.
right?
I hope they're not.
Well, I hope all of your ICE raids have
Yeah.
woken some people up to
Yeah.
understand that they're welcome in the voting booth if they vote R, but they're not
Yeah.
welcome anywhere else at all. And really, it'd be
No,
better if
not
they
even
just
in the
went home.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens with that expectation. But regardless, it's going to happen. Like they've already drawn the map, and unlike California and New York that have independent governing bodies that oversee congressional redistricting, which I think is a great idea. I think you definitely need that, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Texas, the legislature can do what it wants. That's that.
There's talk
Florida
that
too.
what's his name, Gavin Newsom, is going to do the same thing in California to the opposite effect. But
He's going to try.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well,
yeah, I don't know if that.
I believe he is trying, right? I think he's done whatever he can do to put that in motion. Certainly has just said that's what we're going to do. But it's working with that independent board and getting them to approve. And therein lies the problem, right?
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. I would love it, obviously.
Yeah.
And, if California seceded, great.
I keep forgetting that Palm Springs is in California. It feels so much like Arizona to me that I keep thinking in the back of my head that it's in Arizona, but it's not. It's in California. It's totally in California.
It's
not even
still in
close to
California.
Arizona.
But just my luck, Palm Springs will be the one city in California that's like, we're going to Arizona, you guys. We're out. That's enough of this crazy Democratic nonsense. Who knows?
Who knows? So I think that's it for us this week. Any last words?
Please, God save America.
God save America. All right, guys. Stay cool, cucumbers.
And don't trip potato chip. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Apologies Accepted, the podcast.
You can find links to the articles and the sources in the show notes.
To submit an apology or find out more, visit us at apologiesaccepted.net, where you can also find our merchandise.
We're on Twitter at Apologies Accepted.
And on Instagram at apologies.accepted.
You can support our important work at Patreon.com/Apologies Accepted.
And fuck Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.